Feminism isn't needed in the Western world. Or so that's what a lot of you fucking idiots keep saying. If you are an anti-feminist, you might want to click away from this video, because you're about to get fucking decimated.
Hello, Onision, or however your name is pronounced. What's with the whole mask thing? But if you want to, I have a mask of my own, so let's mask on. Let's get it on.
Feminism is the advocacy of women's rights on the grounds of political, social, and economic equality to men. Keyword, equality. Now, the reason I have to point this out is because people say stupid shit like, egalitarianism is better than feminism, even though it's basically the same thing. They both call for equal rights. But for some fucking reason, despite the fact that they're basically the same thing, you guys can't get over the fact that it starts out with fem, as in female. The word defined starts with fem. For some fucking reason, your brain just turns off after that point. Here's someone saying the literal definition of feminism doesn't have meaning. And here's where you get fucking wrecked. This is the definition, and the main argument people have against it is that feminists do not follow this definition. So I ran a fucking poll, and over 1,000 people voted. 69% of feminists believe that women are equal to men.
If feminism is for equality, then why did in your definition only talks about women's rights? Because at least you should know that in America, Australia, most of Europe at least, women have more rights than men. So if it's for equality, then why no mentioning of men? And egalitarian, that all people are equal, not just women. So yeah, by definition that you so much love, egalitarian is much better than a feminist. By definition, feminist is a sexist because it only focuses on women, by definition. And in your poll, 69% say that women are equal to men, so why do we need feminism?
You see feminazis, which are extremists, and your fucktard brain mixes that up with regular feminists. That's on your inferior intelligence.
Didn't you make a video some time ago about men's rights activists? And actually it was, I think it was Rouge V. I don't remember. I just remember Pain666 making a video. So if I remember correctly, you made a video about Rouge V being a men's rights activist who has said multiple times that he's not a men's rights activist and he almost hates men's rights activists. And even now he's making some kind of truce with some men's rights activists. But still, so you yourself with your inferior brain have confused non-men's rights activists with men's rights activists. These feminazis at least call themselves feminists. And you know, you have over 2 million subscribers. So why wouldn't you make a video series where you show these feminazis and say, you know, these are not real feminists, and then you would make another video series, or in the same video series, so like this is the real feminists, like Christina Huff Summers and so forth. And those feminazis, you would point to them and say why they are not feminists, they're real feminists. Sounds good?
If the literal facts don't match your personal experiences, you fucking ignore them. And that is why in this moment you should be humiliated for ever standing against feminists.
And you should be humiliated for saying that pickup artists are men's rights activists and so on and so forth. And you know, 15% say that women are superior to men. So when do we see feminists saying that, hey, we have this going well for us, maybe we need to bring the men to the same level, so we need to maybe take women down a little bit? When? When you are gonna say, you know, women, you are better than men at this area, you know, let's bring men up to speed, so to speak.
comments. Because that's the type of fucking person you are. You're a fucking scumbag liar who doesn't care about the truth, only their personal agenda against a group of people they don't even fucking understand. You say feminism is not needed in the Western world.
Like I said, you don't understand men's rights activists. And then you attack anti-feminists for not understanding feminists. And you know, at least these people say that they are feminists. And I do think that feminist is not really needed. I'm not saying that it should go all, away altogether, but it should be toned down a lot.
This is one explanation of what the Western world is, and here's a map if that wasn't clear enough. We're talking Australia, Canada, United States, UK, etc. Speaking of the UK, according to this, women still cannot serve on the front line.
And men can be drafted. Okay, I don't know if it's in the UK, the draft, but you know what I mean. And women can't die in the front line. Yeah, that's really oppressing them. Yeah. And I think that for most men and anti-feminists, if women are good enough to be in the front line, they will welcome them with open arms.
Apparently some people have tried to oppress women by implying men should pay less for healthcare than women.
Women use the healthcare things more often, even if you count out the maternity things or the, checking up on the baby. So if they use more services, shouldn't they pay more? I mean, honestly, men pay more for car insurance, and men are in accidents more often because they drive more. But if you look at accidents per how many miles you can drive, women do have more accidents per, let's just say about 100 miles than men do. So shouldn't women pay more car insurance because they are in higher risks to get into an accident? Men are in more accidents because they drive more. What do you say about that?
Another example of why we in the Western fucking world need feminism. The US women's soccer team gets paid disgustingly less than the US male soccer team. And this is exceptionally odd because according to this article, their most recent World Cup was the most watched soccer game in American television history. And if they're getting more views, they should at least get equal fucking pay. This is why we need feminism in the Western fucking world.
What's with all the swearing? Come on! Another YouTuber commented on this, I don't remember who, but he or she said that the women's soccer team made a contract and they chose dental plan and something else, and now that they are winning they want more money. So yes, they can negotiate a new contract, they get a better deal. But I agree that if women's games are more watched in the United States, then but it's not just the views, it's the sponsorships and commercial money, the television deals, stuff like that. But if, as I said, if women's team generate more money, then women should be paid more.
Apparently in Texas, maxi pads and tampons were being confiscated before people could enter a courthouse, but for some fucking reason, people could still hold on to their goddamn guns. Are you fucking hearing me, anti-feminists? You are so fucking wrong, it's pathetic, and I hope at the very least, embarrassing for you.
I doubt that this has nothing to do with anti-feminists, and quite honestly, what feminists are going to do about that? Quite a lot of Americans are just stupid. Especially, it seems, from Texas. They just love their guns. And, who knows? Maybe the security guard is a feminist. Who knows? Did you ask him if he's a feminist or not? And what feminism is going to do with the whole gun or tampon thing? Just curious. And I bet at least 99% of anti-feminists think that this is stupid. The whole you can carry guns but not tampons. So you're just wrong.
Another marvelous point. As far as health insurance goes, a ridiculous amount of people object to women getting drugs related to their reproductive system, and yet when men want drugs related to the reproductive system, it's completely fucking fine. Individuals literally protest against things like birth control being covered by insurance, but not vasectomies and penile implants. Yes, anti-feminists, there is no need for feminists in the Western world, is there? Despite the fucking obvious inequality.
I have seen a video, and I don't remember if it's in the video or in the comment section, that basically Viagra, it helps men to get an erection, so it's beneficial to health, but birth control not health-wise good. Now, yeah, basically yes. I don't remember the argument correctly, but it's saying just Viagra helps, but basically birth control, it stops from women getting pregnant. So, but I do agree that if Viagra is in the whole thing, then maybe also should be the birth control also. And also you have to take in consideration that is Viagra more expensive than birth control, and I bet that more people use birth control than Viagra. So it's not 50-50. And if it is, then both should be or shouldn't be in the whole. I don't know. And again, I don't know if it's feminist versus anti-feminist. People have their own opinion, and I bet there are a lot of feminists who are against this birth control, and anti-feminists are also that it should be the birth control in the insurance as well. So it's not feminist versus anti-feminist thing. Wrong again.
In this country, we allow rapists to sue for custody. And as you may know, the majority of rapes are committed by men against women. This is an example of a rapist being able to sue the fucking victim. And this is why we need fucking feminism.
Yeah, this is why we need fucking feminists in the fucking Western fucking world. Yeah, I got that the first time. As I have also seen videos and articles that where an adult woman can sue underage boy who she has been statutory raped to, get child support. So it goes both ways. Is it stupid in both ways? Absolutely. And again, this is not feminist versus anti-feminist thing. And I do think deep inside you know this too. Or then you're just so deep in this feminism religion that you can't duck yourself out of it. Or you have just inferior brain.
In the Western fucking world. The definition of slut itself specifically states that only a woman can be considered a slut. You know goddamn well that in our Western society, if a man sleeps around with women, he is far better treated than when a woman sleeps around with many men. You know for a fact this is fucking true. And this is why we need feminism in the fucking Western world. You know that tradition in our society where a man is expected to ask the father for permission or his blessing to marry his fucking daughter? And then the other tradition where the father has to walk the daughter down the aisle and hand his daughter off to the man she's going to marry? You don't ask the mom for permission. Why? Why is it portrayed as if the father owns his fucking daughter? This is why.
Yeah, but there are all kinds of things for men, man whore, womanizer, stuff like those. I think we all know that for average woman and average male, it's much harder for the male to get sex than women, so that's why it's all those high five, or maybe not, who knows. And if feminists don't like the slut word, then why do they have the slut walks? Why there are not some other word for it? And I think they try to take the slut word back. And men are called sluts as well, but that's just, again, dictionary definition says it's women only can be called. But in the real life, where dictionaries don't apply always so well, men and women are called sluts. House MD TV show, Chase is called a slut. And I think it was a man whore as well. And the other thing, the tradition that a man has to go ask woman's dad for permission to marry her. I don't know for sure, but I think it's tradition comes from that man had to support his family. Wife stayed at home, look after the kids if they had kids. So he had to ask permission from dad because he supported his family, so that a father could give his blessing or not, depending if he's a good man to his daughter and can he support her. I doubt that if the daughter's mom was against that, the man didn't listen to her.
Have specific texts blatantly oppressing women.
Dude, the Bible is hundreds of years old, and honestly, how many live by the Bible day in and day out, religiously, so to speak. And besides, are we really oppressing women in the Western world? Come on, be honest. Are we? Some even might say that we have sheltered women throughout the human history.
Now over 2,000 people have voted, and it looks like we're up to 73%. So I've proven that the majority of feminists believe in equality, despite your obvious dumbass saying they don't, and I've also provided many examples of why we still need fucking feminism in the Western world. So if you have any fucking decency, you can accept your defeat in the comments below, but I'm betting you won't, because you're a fucking disgraceful human being who likely cannot admit when you're wrong. So fuck you, you stupid piece of fucking shit.
You can admit first that you were wrong, and maybe I wasn't wrong.
Feminism isn't where women think they're superior to anybody else.
You got to admit that it does look that way many times. Maybe even most of the time.
They just want to be treated like every man is treated in this society.
Let's just say that we would have a magic button that we could press, and everything between men and women would be equal. Not just rights, but everything you can imagine. Do you think women would take that deal? Let's just say that every suicide would be 50-50, prison population would be 50-50, or at least the sentencing for the same crime would be the same, because now women get lesser sentences in same type of crime. And just all the would women want to be seen as 50-50 in custody battles? Basically judge would just flip a coin who wins the custody, and all things like chivalry, where men are left in the on the ship when Titanic sinks, women and children first. Would women want to change that? Just like dating, where it's assumed that men pays, or at least pays half of the food, but for many women they expect men to pay the first date, or maybe even the first 3 dates. So would women want to get rid of that? If and when a war comes, that 50% of the soldiers would be women. Would women really want to do that? Workplace deaths, 50% of females would be, in this utopian world. Would women really want that? Seriously? What else? And there are some perks being a man. You're on average stronger, faster. In sports, more people follow men's sports than women's sports. That's one thing. Would women want to be 50% of the homeless? Now it's about 80% male. So, yeah. I doubt that they do want, being treated the same as men. There are some women who want that, but I think they are the tiny percentage of all women.
Feminism is exactly the opposite. They believe that women are under them and that women are used for their personal beings. or personal use. So when people are commenting against feminism, they are supporting sexism. There is no in between. You're either a feminist or a sexist.
Did you just say feminism? Obviously you haven't got the memo that it's a parody movement for, they are mocking feminists. They are not really thinking like that. They are just parodying feminists. And the other thing, like I said to Onision, that even the dictionary definition of feminism is sexist because it's all it's talk about is women's rights. And if you're not a men's rights activist, by definition you are a sexist. Do you see yourself as a men's rights activist?
Sadly, most sexists are unaware that they are sexist, and they make up most of the population. They are unaware that sexism has been forced onto them, either through their parents or what they see on social media. People who speak against feminism are scared of change. They are scared of the idea that everyone will be treated the same.
I call some serious bullshit on this one. Are you saying that, when parents teach their children not to hit, especially boys, not to hit children, that they are sexists, that, teaching them sexism, don't hit anyone. Not women, not men, don't hit anyone, okay. Most people do want to see a change, but they don't want to see the feminists change. And that doesn't make us sexists.
Children today are still being indoctrinated with old concepts of gender roles.
Why do you think that is? Maybe it's because they work, at least most of the time, and go and ask random women, would they prefer somebody like a very masculine man, big muscles, would do, he would could fix cars, computers, washing machines, would make more money than she does, tall, dark and handsome, or would they prefer skinny guys, a guy who would talk about their feelings all the time, would cry during every chick flick. Do you think that most women like a man like that? I bet even most, feminazi or just plain old feminists want a man who's masculine, strong, confident, money, gets respect from other people.
With girl toys focused more on rearing and kitchen duties, while boy toys are made around more masculine things such as building and fighting. We should be teaching children that it doesn't matter where you're a male, a female, or anything.
When you give toys to monkeys, even boy monkeys and girl monkeys, prefer, boy toys and girl toys. So why human childs, boys and girls, wouldn't do the same? When you grew up as a child, did you play with dolls or with trucks and cars and Power Rangers, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Batman, Spider-Man? And if somebody wants to play with dolls, let them play, I guess.
We need to move to a society where men are not afraid to be vulnerable and women are allowed to be independent.
Men can be vulnerable, but we just don't show, and most men are, but we just don't show it as often or the same way as women. Everyone has their weak spots, basically. And women can be independent. They can go to work, they can earn their own money, and if they don't have work, society pays their bills basically through social security. There are people who, want traditional relationship with women staying at home looking after kids. But I bet most of them want a woman that can support herself, isn't dependent on man or the society to help her.